Good evening to one and all present here. A warm welcome to all of you to today's exciting session of the Mech-E-Meet series, organized by the Mechanical Engineering Society of VIT Sindri. I, Ayush Asman from Mechanical Engineering branch of Batch 2K22, your host for the today's session.
And I'm Sneha from Mechanical Engineering branch batch 222. Mech-E-Meet is an interactive webinar series where we invite prominent speakers from different fields deliver their knowledge and share insights to our students.
So, for today's session, we are honored to have with us Mr. Pavan K. Sriram, an expert in innovation, higher education, and international project leadership, here to share his valuable insights on strategies for securing top admits and scholarships for higher education abroad.
So, before we begin, let me give you a brief introduction to our distinguished guest. Mr. Pavan Sriram has over 18 years of expertise across healthcare, manufacturing, and aerospace. He is the founder of Forward, where he has helped over 20 students to secure Euro 33 scholarships for higher education at top universities. He works as the international and innovation projects at Digital Norway. He has led initiatives that have transformed innovation across the sectors globally.
Adding more to it, as a president of the Erasmus Mundus Association, he has led about 20,000 plus members across 180 countries, managing 50 plus partnerships and 4 global alliances. He has also served as a board member for the Study in Europe project and co-chair of the Erasmus Plus Alumni and Student Alliances, further expanding his influence in international education.
Now, with great pleasure, I would invite Sir to take over and carry the session forward.
Sir, please.
First of all, very warm thank you for Ayush and Sneha for such a elaborate, introduction. I really appreciate it. I'm not used to that, but thank you so much for being so kind and generous. And a heartily welcome to all, to especially in the evening, to stay back and to listen to some boring lectures. So thank you for that. So I promise not to keep it very boring. I'll try to keep it a little boring, but funds apart, I think the whole objective of today's session is to encourage you guys to apply for scholarship. That's the whole mission why I'm here today. And when your friend Hitesh reached out to me via LinkedIn, I was excited to kind of come and talk, especially because you guys are mechanical and I'm a mechanical engineer myself too. And I think there's a lot of negativity around mechanical engineering and the career prospects of mechanical. I just wanted to also kind of bust that myth that mechanical engineering is a wonderful field. It has such a versatility in terms of career options. So I'll try to keep a bit of balance. I'll try to focus a lot on scholarship, but at any point of time, if anyone of you want to ask a bit about mechanical engineering and how I kind of shape my career, I'm more than happy to talk about it. So I'll try to kind of keep a very generic overview of how basically you go about scholarship, how you go about top admits. I'll try to show one example of how simple it is to get compared to cracking IIT, JEE, so whatever exams we have in our country, unfortunately. And how, especially for top admits or scholarship abroad, it's not just about an exam or a particular academic excellence. It's also about a holistic profile. So I'll touch upon these aspects. And in the end, I'll also talk about a bit about what I've been doing right now, a bit about myself, etc. I don't like to start off with that introduction. Okay, just let me know if you can all hear me well, loud and clear, if that's good. Please raise your thumbs up or hands up. Yeah, whatever that's raise hand.
Yes, I audible.
Okay, great. Uh, do you see my screen?
Yes,
You all
sir,
see
it
my
is.
screen? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let me just begin my presentation. So one of the main reason, just to take example of my own life experience, I come from a typical low economic or middle class family. For me, even dreaming about getting into IITs was far fetched because I was a first generation learner and I didn't have many role models or examples of uh, how should I even shape my career to a larger extent. And it's a funny story. For me, mechanical engineering happened because my mother thought that it's more stable, mechanical, electrical, civil engineering, electronics, compared to computer science or other fields. She herself has done only until 10th, but she felt that having a government job, secure job is something I should be aiming for. That's how I ended up getting into mechanical because when I finished my plus 12, I had no clue what I wanted to do with my life. I was very, very clueless as a 12th grader, I would say. So I ended up in mechanical engineering and somehow I started liking the subject very well. I started becoming the topper in the class, started doing very well, and got campus placed multiple job opportunities in core mechanical companies. And while working in the company, when I was sent to US in the very first year, when I met my colleagues who were from USA, Mexico, China, various parts of Europe, that's when actually I heard the term scholarship, to be honest. And until then, I had not really heard about the word scholarship as much. You might hear these days, right? And I was very curious, like why some other government is willing to spend complete money on one and do not expect anything in return except provide you with the top-notch education. So I came back home. So we didn't have any money to support it, and I had this aspiration to actually do MBA, not a MS. But then MBA would have costed a lot, and then I had to take lots of exams. And then I felt that okay, maybe MS is something. Again, my decisions are all funny. I think many of us in India still do these things. We don't really seek a proper expert or mentor who can help in decision making. And then I ended up choosing a course just because I thought I had scored extremely high in these courses, which is finite elemental analysis, computational dynamics. And I thought I was extremely good in this subject. I applied for that particular scholarship. I wanted to study in Germany because Germany has much more opportunities for mechanical, and it still stands true till today. So I was looking for free education in public universities, and then I bumped into this scholarship called Erasmus Mundus. So Erasmus is the name of the scholar who wanted to avoid uh, the World War in Europe, and he wanted to do this with the support of education. And Mundus means world in Latin. So basically, the Erasmus Mundus program is set up by the European government across all the 33 countries to encourage mobility. So when people move around, they kind of understand each other better, and that shapes in a better world and a peaceful world. So that's how my story started with regards to the scholarship. And I just made one application, 0 rupees spent on the application. The only thing I spent was around 1,000 something for post to submit or send the documents, certified documents to the program. And then I think it took 3 or 4 months to get the result. And unfortunately, the result was in a spam folder. So I didn't even know for a few days that I had actually got the opportunity. So that's how my life ended. And then I went to Spain for the first semester, and then the next 3 semesters was in the UK. Little I knew that this particular master's and the kind of mobility experience I had would completely change who I was as a person to a larger extent. In Spain, open book exams were extremely intriguing and extremely difficult, and I never thought that Spain would offer such good quality education. We don't really know about Spain much, do we, in India? And then UK is very similar to how we shape our education because I think Indian education system to a larger extent is built on British education system. Um, so, so for me, the main reason why, since then, I've been working with the European government on a voluntary basis. I've been working a lot on higher education to encourage individuals, especially who think that opportunity is limited, to really give a full, what do you say, the best of efforts to apply for scholarships and multiples of scholarships. Because the first and foremost thing, many of us do not even try because we think there is some shortage or some kind of a limitation in our portfolio. So if you don't even try, how do you know you're going to succeed or not? So I think the most important thing is it's going to have a huge impact on your financial barrier. Like I didn't have to spend anything for my masters. In fact, I got 1,400 euros every month. So I would even end up saving 700, 800 euros. In Spain and UK, I was saving probably around 400, 500. It's a bit more expensive than Spain. Then it covers the entire tuition fee. I didn't have to pay anything for that 18,000 euros tuition fee. I just have to manage my food and accommodation. That's all. The rest of the things, insurance, laptop, flight, everything was covered by the scholarship itself. And once I got the scholarship, it became so easy for me to get a PhD offer, if a job offer, whatnot. It just kept continuing. And also, I think it boosts your confidence to a different level. It gives you so much of confidence in a different level that you cannot even imagine. Think about starting with 15 different nationalities, 20 different nationalities in a classroom. The whole classroom becomes such a interesting thing for you to learn beyond just the subjects, how one applies their brain to approach a particular problem, how is the food culture, how do they think, how do they function. A lot of things you get to learn. And then since I had to move different countries, it also caused a lot of stress, but at the same time it also was a lot of independent management about myself. Growing up in India, you don't really get exposed unless you start living in a hostel or in a PG, but still you get a lot of hand holding here. While there, you had to do a lot of things yourself. And that also was something helped me to grow in several significant ways. So just to give an example of, for example, in US, like Harvard and MIT, they offer scholarship based on academic and personal merit. While in Europe, if you take example of Erasmus Mundus or Eiffel Excellence or Mastermind or Swiss Excellence, they provide scholarships within the countries or across the countries. I'm just referring to US. I showed example of university, while in Europe, I've taken example of the governmental scholarships, just to give you an idea that the varieties of scholarships which is available. So typically, what they're looking for, unlike in India, where you write an exam and then your marks and then the exam score kind of get added and then you get an admit, in abroad, it's not like that. Academic performance is important. Having a high CGPA is something which is always helps you. I'm saying this because it also shows that you're a consistent student. It's not like you're just into studies, but also shows some kind of a consistency. So having average or above average CGPA is always very handy. And academic excellence in the sense that doing relevant internships, relevant projects, anything relevant which you're deeply passionate about is very, very important. To a larger extent, I, as a founder, I see that many people reach out to me to ask for internships, etc. Many of them want to do for the sake of it. Many of them want to do for the sake of fulfilling some curriculum or fulfilling some points or credits. So the passion is lost. And when you don't really have a passion for a particular subject, it's very difficult to showcase that in the scholarship. Even though I was not sure I wanted to do mechanical engineering, but I was sure what I wanted to do in masters. And then it was easy for me to convince my story. But once I started doing the masters, I realized that that's not my cup of tea. But at least when I was applying, I was very clear what I wanted to do. So that's why it's very important. And leadership experience is very, very critical. So not just studying, but also like I was part of innovation club. I was part of sports. I used to lead the cricket team. I used to play hockey. Along with that, I was very active in extracurricular activities, in collage work, or in different team building activities. So all those things came very handy. I never prepared according to that back then, but I saw that those were very importantly given importance to. And doing a good internship is something very, very good. And having professional work experience relevant also adds on significantly for the for getting a scholarship. Strong recommendation letter, not those standard typical things which professors give, changing a name and standard boring thing, but going something much more customized, tailored to that particular scholarship, tailored to that particular program becomes very important. And to showcase that you're not just about academic excellence, but also you take part a lot in volunteering work, you believe in giving back. That is a very, very major component, a component in abroad. And then also something you stand for, something you have an opinion, a voice for, is very important. And also participating in various competitions and then showing that you're a team player is also very, very critical. And the most important thing in many of the universities and scholarship is the compelling personal statement or a motivation letter or a statement of purpose. So that is very, very critical. Like how authentic you are and why you think you deserve a scholarship is the biggest. Uh, and then maybe you might have interview in many cases. Then you have to be confident enough to address this both technically and also personally. So if you see in MIT, they focus a lot on GPA, research experience and leadership potential. While if you take an exam, that is a university scholarship. While Chevening in UK, if you see, they focus a lot on leadership and community. So CGPA is not the most important parameter, but the leadership and the giving back kind of a concept what we have. Any questions or anything so far from any of you? Okay, then I continue. So I'll just talk about the various strategies how you can actually focus on. Having a good consistent CGPA is important. Uh, when I say high, that means if you say for 10, anything at least above 8 is good. But I've mentored my mentees who have got even 7, 7.1, 6.8 also get into scholarship, but they had strong work experience. So in one way or the other, you need to show holistic thing. So publishing good conference papers, maybe journal if you have the possibility, participating in lots of good academic projects, doing relevant industrial internships. These things are very critical. So if you see in NUS, National University of Singapore, the graduate research scholarship emphasizes a lot on your research and academic excellence. While in Stanford, they look for your academic rigor. That's like how good you have been studying, and again, research contributions. So when you're looking for scholarship, you need to see what is your strength, what's your profile like, and then based on that, choose a university, choose a scholarship accordingly. Otherwise, if you don't have a strong research background and you're applying for these scholarships, you're never going to make it. You'll only be disappointed. The second thing which I see majority of my mentees when I've been helping them make is that they do not customize the CV, SOPs, LORs. They purely just copy paste the same thing for all the programs, just change the name, change the professor's name, and then pretend that they have passion for all these universities, all these scholarships. So this is something which I've seen also in job market where just people keep submitting CVs everywhere. And that's one of the reasons why people don't get the opportunities they deserve in the first hand. So remember, the most important thing is to have clarity how you want to shape your life, how you want to shape your future. According to that, demonstrate that in all your documentation. For example, in Erasmus Mundus, the scholarship which I won, having international experience and then having alignment with the program is extremely critical. So, for example, when I was applying for computational mechanics after my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, if I didn't have subjects like FEM, CFD, fluid structure interaction, then when I started doing the work in TIMCAN engineering and research, if I didn't work a lot on stress engineering or computational activities, then probably I would never get a scholarship in this particular program. So it is very important that you align your background according to these things. It becomes easier to win and secure scholarship. So the third thing is, which I feel many of them tend to fail, is that getting the letter of references from professors and industry professionals in the most customized manner. As I said before, how you can do this is to really have clarity about you want to do masters or PhD or whatever it is, and to express what and all have you done, and encourage your professor to write original letter of recommendations. Take some time. If they're unable to write, you write, and then ask them to read, edit, and give you that. Many times they have to submit directly using a link, or sometimes they can give it to you and then you can submit behalf. So that's very, very critical, and it holds a huge part in you getting or not getting an admission. And then secondly, networking with the students who are currently studying there, or the people who are graduated from these universities, attending the open house, open webinars organized by these universities, engaging with the faculties of these universities if they are very active on LinkedIn or etc., on ResearchGate, becomes very critical for you to build your case for these opportunities. So if you look at the example, Cambridge University, they again focus a lot on giving importance to academic references. While Erasmus Mundus, they believe a lot of opportunity like you networking with different people becomes important. So coming to how you approach a scholarship. So you start off with, first of all, trying to understand which country you want to go and study, which university you want to go and study. And within that, what are the scholarships at university level, department level? Uh, because in India, you might have not been exposed to this. In abroad, you will have an financial aid office or international support office. So they will provide all these information, or you can easily find this information on website. And right now, the startup which I've been building, we're trying to build the world's largest scholarship and funding platform. So hopefully by end of December, many of you can, if you access this platform for free, you can actually already see scholarships which is available for the specific university and multiple of them. So that's a good way to get started off with. And then look for, if you don't have any more scholarship available in those, look for external funding. So lots of companies, banks, big companies, depending on the area of your field, provide scholarships. There are a lot of private scholarships like Tata, Reliance, etc., which you can access to. There's also Indian government scholarship, which is available for people who belong to SC/ST category, or who have economic challenge, like their family income is less than 8 lakh per annum. So there's also huge opportunities for like this. And here you can see that in US, if you're applying, you can look for Fulbright. In Germany, if you're looking, there's DART scholarship, which is available. So there is no limitation or opportunities for scholarship. Majority of the people apply for admission first, and then they think that the scholarship they can apply later. It doesn't work like that. It needs to happen hand in hand. And many times the scholarships are applied for even before you get an admit. So remember this very well. So finally, I think irrespective of how is your academic excellence, I always encourage all my mentees to demonstrate leadership and extracurricular activities. It is a factor which a lot of people look for. Being a lead in your project, being a lead of student organization, being captain of a sports team, being part of an extracurricular. So those things really help. So these things is something which you have to really try to consider during your undergraduation days. If you already done some of them during your 12th, also something you can show in your CV. And if you see road scholarship, they completely require you to have done some kind of a community service to even get that scholarship. While Erasmus Mundus, they look for leadership role more in academic roles, right? So these are some of the strategies which they look for. So this is where I think many of the people fail, in the sense that they start only 1-2 months before they have to start applying for top admits. So you can see here that when I started looking for my that one master scholarship applying, I even did 12 months of something research. So I would say at least minimum a year and a half is something which is extremely good for you to start looking into opportunities, and then start contacting the people who can help you, can guide you if you need help. If you can do it by yourself, amazing. Tell your professors that you will need 8 to 10 letter of references, some of them for scholarship, some of a top admit. Start working on preparing your CV. See what are the shortcomings in your CV, what can you do. More certifications, more projects, more internships, more publications, enhancing your CGPA, anything which you can improve on. And then start building on the story, which is your SOP. Some cases, if you're doing your masters in Europe, you don't need GRE. Even in US now, many of the universities have removed GRE. UK don't need at all. But English language might be mandatory in many of these countries, so you might have to give a English language test using IELTS or TOEFL. You can think of how to basically get some vouchers to save that cost. So there's different ways how you can actually, and then at least start submitting the application as soon as they open, or at least few days before the deadline. And then if you have interviews, follow it up, receive the offer, and then finalize on which university, which scholarship you want to proceed from. So basically, building a competitive portfolio is not just getting a good marks or awards or publications. It's also trying to highlight the various things related to internship certifications. And also, I'm a big fan of LinkedIn, and I would advise all of you to make your digital presence felt in LinkedIn and try to showcase what's your strength in a particular area. So having this academic thing is something which every scholarship very, very well looks for. So these are, I'll share the slides with you guys. You can always look at it later. So there's different ways to look for, money saving. One is looking for smaller grants, bursaries. So once you go into those universities, you can always look for small grants. It could be $1,000, $2,000 like that. If you get 10 of them, already it's like 10, 15,000 euros. Sorry, it's dollars. It makes a huge difference. Part-time job, it could be at the university working as a RATA or outside of the university. Many universities do not take any application fee, or you can request for fee waiver. Scholarships, as I talked about all the last slides. So there's many ways you can actually minimize the cost. So far I've helped around 400 something students to secure the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. And overall, I've helped around 800 of them to secure various different admits across the globe, including Australia, US, UK, Europe, and with fully funded scholarships. So I know what it takes to win and secure the scholarships. So it's very important that how you narrate the story, how you convince your story becomes very, very critical. And if you can see in the use cases here, in Germany, most of the public universities do not charge any tuition fee. That means you have to pay a small semester fee of few hundred euros, which is like 10,000, 20,000 rupees, which is nothing, probably cheaper than what you're spending for your undergrad. And then in US and Canada, etc., you can do a lot of RATA. For example, when I was in UK, I did part-time job along with my scholarship. I was working with Sky Sports as a customer care executive. Then I also did internship with a company which paid me for the internship. And then I was also doing a RA position in the university also. Maybe you might think that I was greedy, but we had just built a house and I had taken only personal loans. So I had 30 lakh rupees loan. So I managed to clear that in 1.5 years while doing my master's. So there's a huge potential. It's just that you need to be proactive in putting yourself into these situations, and also need to learn the art of trying to balance your studies with all those things to have a wonderful experience abroad. So just to tell you, a scholarship is not just a blind approach. It needs a bit of strategic thinking. It needs a bit of understanding what's your strength, what's your weakness, and how to kind of build on this, double down on the strength, and how to match up on the weaknesses. And then the most important thing is plan ahead. Plan ahead. Talk to people, get everything organized well in advance. The most important thing again comes is consistency. Apply. Unless you apply, unless you try, you don't know. So I had a mentee last year. She had applied for 5 universities by herself. She got 2 admits and 3 rejections, none of the scholarships. Same person with the same thing. In fact, she had quit her job last year, came with me to work with me last year, and then we managed to get her 2 full scholarships. And then she got a tuition waiver of 80% and 50%. So totally, she got a scholarship of $160,000. So it's not a rocket science. It's just about knowing how to do it. It's an art, it's a skill. And how do you commit to that for several months? And it's not like an exam where you prepare for months and months and then write an exam. No, it's a consistent way to keep building your portfolio. This is how you also do in job. For example, if you think about how my career has been successful abroad and also holding a lot of leadership skills, is that whenever an opportunity comes, I just try. Even in Erasmus Mundus Association, the first time I was just even nominating myself for being a team leader for a small community team, and I didn't get selected. People across the world didn't vote for me. Maybe my pitch was not great. But then the same thing I tried after 6 months, I got selected. Then I applied to become the vice president of the association. And again, the people from 180 countries voted. They felt that my pitch and my ideas were really good. And then once I was in the leadership thing, I got access to the European government. I got access to so many organizations. Then community came and requested me that I should run for the president. So sometimes it is that you have to throw yourself out there. You have to kind of get your hands dirty to be successful. What I mean is that there's no guarantee that, even today, for example, I don't even know if my startup is going to be successful. The only thing I know is that to put the right effort, consistent effort. And now that we're part of IIM Bangalore or Stanford, we've got a lot of support. So always try to find support, try to basically stick to it. If this is your goal, you have to just stick to it. That's what is very, very critical. So with the right strategy, with the right planning, a scholarship is easily possible. But if you feel that your portfolio is not ready today, you have time. 1 2 years of good work experience, good way to build your portfolio can land you in 2 years down the lane. And that's not the lost case, right? You don't have to end up going and studying abroad immediately. Not everybody have to go through the same linear curve. So with that, I would end my slide deck, and I'm more than happy to kind of open the floor for any questions, any discussions with you. Um, yeah, I'm more than happy to listen to you and then ask if you have any questions. We can take it. I'll also show you one simple example of how to secure a scholarship after this, especially an Erasmus Mundus scholarship for mechanical students. I can show an example how to do it, how simple and how easy it is.
YouTube viewers can ask the question in the chat box only, and those who are present in this meet can open the mic and can speak. Any questions?
Either I was very clear or either nothing was understood. So I can only infer those two things from the discussion. Make use of the opportunity. See, it's not that every day that someone is coming and talking about scholarships to you guys. So any doubt, any question, there's no judgment. I'm not your professor or teacher. So please ask me. There's no silly question. So please, any question can help you. I'm more than happy to address them now.
To ask your question, you can first raise your hand, and then you can deliver the question.
Yes, Sumit, thank you for being the front runner to ask a question. I really appreciate it. Go ahead, Sumit. So please go ahead, unmute yourself and ask a question. Okay.
Good
Meanwhile,
evening, sir.
Sumit comes on. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, how important is research experience or work experience for securing admits at prestigious institutions?
I would say if you have a very high CGPA and a couple of good internships and research projects, you can directly get into masters without wasting 2 more years working in a job. And then because anyway, once you go abroad, the job experience don't really count unless you work for long periods. So for example, I worked 2 years in India and USA, but when I had to get jobs in UK, they only considered me as a graduate again. So if I were you, if you have a good, strong academic excellence already right now, I would say that please go ahead and apply for top admissions already. If you think that you want to improve your portfolio, then I would say add couple more years of work experience, at least 2 years of relevant work experience, and then you can apply for top admits or scholarship.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
So, Ritik Kumar Singh from the batch of 2K24 of mechanical branch is asking a question in the chat box. Sir. So, he's asking that what CGPA we have to maintain to get a chance for higher education in European countries or in USA. So, please.
As I said during my conversation before, there's no, see, they look for 60% and above to be eligible to apply for top universities and scholarships. But since the competition is so high, the higher the CGPA it is better. But as I said, for example, if I take an example of one of my mentee whom I helped 2 years ago to secure fully funded scholarship, he had a CGPA of 7, right? And I know a couple of other mentees who had a CGPA of 9.2, 9.3. They didn't get the scholarship, but he got the scholarship because his work experience was extremely good, extremely relevant to that particular master's. And also his story was very interesting, coming from Kerala, not having access to proper education. So it's very, what do you say, it's not a one shop which fits everything, right? You need to basically look at your portfolio, look at your story, look at your journey, because I'm sure you're 20 something people present here, right? So all of your journey is very different. All of your reasons to study mechanical engineering is different. All of your reasons to do masters is different. So it all, as I said, the personal statement becomes very important also. So do not just only blindly go with the. So that's what the consultants say. Most of the consultants who are in the study abroad field, unfortunately, in India, have never gone outside the country. So they try to always work with the university tie-ups, which are not the top 400, top 300 universities, some random universities, and they give you admit immediately, right? You pay them, or you don't even have to pay them, because anyway you're not saving anything from scholarship or tuition fee. So you have to pay the full tuition fee, or they say that they give you 5,000, 10,000 offer, and then they take almost 10 to 20% commission from your admit to those universities. So it's very important that you yourself aim for the best of universities, and do not necessarily be hyper focused on your CGPA. If you can maintain a high CGPA, do it. If you cannot, see what are the other strengths you have, which can showcase why you are an excellent candidate for that particular masters. Sorry, Ayush, you're muted.
Sorry, sir. So, one more question is there in the chat box that how can I stay organized while applying for multiple scholarships?
Simple, use an Excel sheet. I can share with you an Excel sheet which I've developed. I help my mentees in that format. You can just organize with all the Excel sheet and say basically what are the number of universities you want to apply, and then basically list out what are the objectives, what are the outcomes of that particular masters, what are the documents required. So it's or these days there are tools like Notion, which I don't know how many of you use it, but those are the very handy way to maintain. Like I would say, simple spreadsheet. If not, as a student, if you have access to Notion for free, use Notion and do it. I think these are two simple tools, I would say. And I'm happy to share that Excel sheet, which I give it to my mentees to build these organization thing.
So, are there any important deadlines that we should be aware of?
Guidelines or deadlines?
Deadlines are deadlines. Means the
So
last.
generally, right, this is the right time. So already the universities in US have opened up in 4th of September, and then they'll go on till November, December maximum. Some of the universities will be open till January, February. That's in US, Canada, Australia, like that, UK. If you look for Europe, specifically Germany, France, they're a bit late. They start opening up in October, November, and then they continue until February, March, like that. And then the important thing to note is that when you do that IELTS exam or TOEFL, in case the English language test is required, and also you can find discount vouchers for that also to a larger extent. So the simple thing is trying to know when to apply, where to apply, and also plan for your scholarships in parallel with the programs itself.
So I have a
So
question. Uh,
yes, please, Neha.
So I have questioned that how important are the letter of recommendations while applying for
Very,
an international scholarship?
very, very. For scholarships, I think letter of recommendation (SOP) is extremely critical. The problem is that I don't want to kind of, I hope there's no faculty in this discussion, but not all faculty are same, right? Many of the faculties do not have time. So when the students approach them last minute, they just give a random standard letter of recommendation. And that's is something which could be a make or break, right? So for example, if you've done an excellent project, an excellent internship, giving a customized letter of recommendation, why it fits very well with DART scholarship or why it fits with Erasmus Mundus is very critical for you to secure them, right? But rather than that, saying that Sneha's character is good and go, she's good academically, she's this and this, and to whomever it concerns to, it's not really tailoring it to that particular program or particular scholarship. So you always, for all of you who are listening to this, you always need to think one step ahead. Key, what is those small things I can build up, which will show my profile a bit more X factor compared to the other person. If it's Neha and if it's Ayush, the two LORs, if the same professor is giving, if they're exactly same, then there's no distinction between you two, right? So even the professors need to make that extra effort to put in. So, for example, my mentee, she went to Michigan University, and she got an RA already from India. So her professor from IIC with whom she had done an internship, so he was even kind enough to write an extra letter to that professor who asked him specifically about her research skill sets. So you need professors who go above and beyond to even help you in that case. So that's why maintaining a healthy relationship with your professors, encouraging them to be very customized, or you yourself writing and then getting it customized, or getting a mentor's help who will help you to customize these things, and then getting to your professor. It depends, Neha. So, yeah. So let me just share with you one simple scholarship program. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the Erasmus Mundus Masters. So I had chosen for chemistry, life science. I was just doing some research. So I'll just undo them. So let me just pick. So you guys, most of you are mechanical, right? Who are here?
So almost 90% are there mechanical only.
Okay. So let me pick information science and engineering because you come under engineering. And let me search. So basically, there were 200 something scholarships. And if you see within engineering info science, there are like 67. So for example, as a mechanical engineering, you can go to geo-resource engineering or smart cities. You can apply for sustainable engineering. You can come through, I don't know if you do ship, can be some people can be related. It could be this one, manufacturing 4.0, intelligence and sustainable technology. So let me take example of this. You still see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So you can see that this is supported by the European government, and these are the universities. You can see that at least some of them are in the top 300 ranking. And then you can see how application is. So simple thing is how to apply. So basically they say that November 15th the application opens, the deadline is February 15th, there's an interview in March, and then there's results in March, and then in April there's a deadline for this. So who can apply? People who basically has a grade B. That means 60% or even less, and should have studied at least 3 years in mechanical engineering, mechanics, material science, whatever. And English proficiency, they should have either these things. And then if people have completed their studies in English, they can get a letter from the university. That's all. How to apply? A CV, your passport, copies of certificate, your degree certificate, transcripts, English language test, evidence of mathematics, that you had mathematics, engineering mathematics, a motivational video of 3 minutes, a proof of residence where you have been living, two recommendation letter. It could be a professor, it could be employer in English. That's it. So if you see, they're scoring it for they're basically shortlisting 100 top students and not more than 10 from the same country. And then they'll be evaluating on these five factors. And then they target people on main and the reserve list. And they even offer webinar on 19th of December and 16th of January for people to understand about the program. Do you think this is very complex or difficult to do or apply?
No, sir, not so. It is simple.
That so I feel that in we are so obsessed in India that the career only is successful one way. I think the hundreds of way you can be successful today, right? As long as you're passionate about whatever field it is, whether you want to continue your masters, want to do an MBA, want to be an entrepreneur, want to be a content creator, want to start a farm, it's completely up to you what you're passionate about. As long as you kind of put in the energy and effort in those directions, success will always come through your way, I would say. So think about it. And I would say that just give it a try. If you're very, I hope that the people are, nobody's forced you guys to attend to a session. So there should be a reason why all of you have come here. So I really hope that at least the 21 of you, maybe 10 of you seriously consider, and maybe 4 or 5 of you end up winning the scholarship. So, or maybe all 10 of you, all 20 of you end up winning scholarship. So it's, as I said, it's not rocket science. It's about strategically working towards it. And imagine you getting paid 1 lakh rupees every month to do a master's. It's not a small money. So no job pays that much for a mechanical engineer when you start your career. That was one of the reasons why I quit my job. Even though back in 2008, I was getting almost 8 lakh, one of the highest paid guys in mechanical engineering. So what I'm saying is that, and when I quit my job in Norway, I was earning more than a crore. So even as a mechanical guys, you can earn significant salaries just like IT. It's just that there's a lot of IT thing everywhere in India. But even as a mechanical guy, if you know how to basically lead your career, if you know what are the right things, you can have a significant opportunities. And since we have a few more minutes, I'll just talk a little bit about mechanical because 90% of you are mechanical. So mechanical engineer, there's wide variety of careers. One is design, one is production, supply chain. You could now combine a lot with AI interfaces, which is the digital transformation to a larger extent. You could go into project management. You could go into offshore. So again, it depends the areas which you choose. So for example, when I started off my career, I used to work with the steel and bearing business, right? Automotive to a larger extent. Or I used to also support off-highway equipments. You all see this big trucks and all those things, right? So I did a lot of project on bus body analysis as a undergraduate. And then when I applied for my master's, there was a lot of emphasis on aerospace. So somehow my career went into aerospace, but still the fundamentals what I'd learned in my work in my undergrad all applied to it. And I started working a lot on aeroacoustics with Rolls-Royce trying to reduce the aircraft engine noise, specifically for the Airbus 380 engine. And then afterwards, I went more again back to lean management and in the renewable energy sector in wind offshore for my PhD. So it, what I'm trying to say is that once you gain knowledge, you can always apply and choose. You can experiment in the first few years of your life to see what excites you, where you want to actually succeed, and then go more deeper and deeper into that particular area. And if you ask me how suddenly start up, I think at some stage of your life you get bored of what you do. Probably at 5 years, probably at 2 years, probably at 10 years. Gone are the days like my grandfather who worked in Hindustan Machine Tool for rest all of his life. Same thing goes to my mother. She worked in one organization for rest of all of her life. But today, we none of us want to stick in a place for so many years. There are some people who do it, but majority of us want to have different exposure. So today, I've been trying to do my startup. I've been helping young people like you to secure scholarships and admits. Something which I'm very passionate about, which I enjoy the most. Plus, I'm trying to get into natural farming to a large extent. I still consult with my companies in Norway, etc., on digital transformation. So you can decide how you want to have time for yourself, how you build your career, how you make money, how what is success for you, right? And and nobody can define other than yourself. And for me, success is having good health, good sleep, and good time with their family. And I think more and more after COVID, this is what I think I have realized in my life, that if you are extremely passionate about something, you just have to make it happen. And you can't blame the situation, your family for that. The only people who are responsible for that is ourselves. So, so with that, I would like to stop. I think I can end up blabbering so much. So I hope it has been useful. So if any of you are interested to get mentorship or get support to secure scholarship, please reach out to me. Ayush and Sneha, please let me know to whom I should send this PPT. I can also send some more examples on mechanical engineering, etc. So more than happy to send you a list of scholarship for mechanical engineers, and yeah, any other thing which you think you guys will need or support with.
So you can send it to Hitesh.
Hitesh,
He's,
okay,
he's
I'll do
the
that.
MES coordinator who has reached you, sir. So you can send him.
Yes, okay,
So
I'll do that.
there are hundreds of questions pending, sir, but due to time constraint, we have to manage, sir.
Oh, there's so many questions. Can you send me the list of questions so that I can answer them via email?
Okay,
I
sir.
can also pass on that so that it can
Obviously,
come
sir.
to all of you so you can read it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please ensure that you download those questions and save and ask Hitesh to send it to me. And give me 1 day time. So probably by tomorrow, I'll answer all the questions and send it back to you guys.
Obviously, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I hope it's been useful. I really wish all the 21 of you apply, give a try. And trust me, it's way cheaper. The only thing you need is time, nothing else. You don't even have to spend, if you think that you don't have money, you don't even have to spend anything. Like me, I spent 0 rupees to get a scholarship to get top admit. So it is a possibility. It's not a fake thing. It's just that you need a little bit of effort, guidance for 5 to 6 months to work on this. That's it. And right now, already is time. If you're already in the final year, pre-final year, it's already time for you to apply. So do not waste time and try to balance and try to give your best. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for answering these fantastic questions. We hope this session has provided you with a clear roadmap on how to begin your preparation for international admits and scholarships. As a token of appreciation, sir, we would like to present a memento as well as a certificate of appreciation from the side of Mechanical Engineering Society of the IT Sindri. So our technical team will present. Sir, this is the memento.
It's a cool concept. Huh? You guys give E memento now. Thank you so much for this, guys.
So, with that, we wrap up with today's webinar. We would like to extend our deepest gratitude to Mr. Pavan K. Sriram for his time and for sharing his expertise with us. And of course, a big thanks to all of the students for joining today's session and your active participation. So, in live chat in YouTube, we have more than 50 viewers, sir. So, it was
Okay,
beneficial, sir.
I didn't know about that. That's really good to know. As I said, I'm more than happy to answer all the questions. I'm more than happy to connect with you guys on LinkedIn. So maybe I can just share with you my LinkedIn profile. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. So I used to be active on YouTube. I used to do lots of videos, but of course, time is not the same like before for me. I'll again start on those. But you guys can connect on LinkedIn. Here is my chat, and I post a lot on scholarships opportunities. So please feel free to use those resources, make use of those things. If you can do it yourself, that's great. If you want to seek help, more than happy to help you guys to achieve your goals. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. It was a really insightful session. You mentioned so many important things that we rarely know as a student, and we feel like we miss the deadlines. And how you talked about the consistency that we have to match up to, like with academic excellence, we have to focus on other activities. So it was a great experience. We hope that we could conduct more sessions like this with you. It would be a great honor. Thank you, sir.
Maybe if you guys are open, we could do a very exclusive, specifically. Again, it depends. If you guys are applying for a one or two specific scholarship, I'm more than happy to go deeper into that scholarship. Like for example, Erasmus Mundus, right? They have like 4 to 5 mechanical engineering related scholarship. If you pick Chevening, Commonwealth, so I'm more than happy to pick like 10 scholarships and go deeper in all of them. If at all you guys are interested in it, and I'm more than happy to do that, but it has to be done before October 15th because the deadlines are coming very, very soon. So let me know. I'm more than happy to hold that session for you guys if it's going to benefit, and maybe even 5, 6 of you end up winning. I would have done my job well.
Sir, I have a question, sir, from my side. So,
Yeah.
are there any specific countries or universities which we should keep in our top preferences?
See, as a mechanical engineer, it again depends, right? If you're going into robotics, for example, as a mechanical guy, Denmark is extremely good. Finland, Germany are other countries which is extremely good for robotics. If you're looking into supply chain, then US is extremely good in that. If you're looking more into design and stress analysis, UK, Germany. Uh, if you're looking more into production, then again US. So it's first of all, it is the various careers you want to have, and secondly, within that, as a mechanical guy, where do you want to work? Do you want to work in renewable sector? Do you want to work in non-renewable energy? Do you want to work in aerospace? Do you want to work in healthcare? Because as I said, as in the beginning of my discussion, I said this: as a mechanical engineer, you have so much versatility, right? You can fit into, like for example, I've worked in aerospace, oil and gas, healthcare. I've even worked on pandemics, in COVID stuff. So the thing is, it's up to you how you want to kind of pace your career, and according to that, you can choose a career. And I don't know how many of you. I think most of you do not do this, but it's very important to read a country's research and innovation agenda. Many countries publish this document, and you can see that for the next 5 years, what are they planning for? And there you can get an idea about, oh, okay, Germany's investing this much of thing in manufacturing. Oh, Tesla factory is coming in Germany. Maybe something else is coming somewhere else. So you need to be strategic also, because these days as an international student it's not easy. And if you say that you blindly get into, say you end up into Rochester University in USA, and there's no companies at all. Okay, they're good in mechanical engineering, but there's no uh, first of all, there's no campus placement concepts abroad, unlike in India. So you have to search and you have to do all those things by yourself. So if you already have an access to professors who have access to companies for doing, for example, when I was doing my PhD in Norway, my professors had connection with the biggest Norwegian companies. So to get access to data, to do the project, to get job later was super easy for me, because first of all, Norway is such a small country, and networking is like 5,000 times important than in India. So people know each other. So you, how you are becomes very important and critical. So you need to plan this, Ayush. Again, as I said, I think unfortunately the whole study abroad market has become like a mafia. Just like any other education in this country, everything is like a commodity. So they don't really sell dreams or passion. They just sell and admit. So you need to think a little bit beyond, like, okay, in some years down the lane, 10 years down the lane, how I want to pursue my life. Okay, I want to live abroad. Which are the countries which is pro immigration? Right? Maybe US is a bit difficult right now, with we don't know what's going to happen in the elections, right? And who is going to be the president, what pro or difficult immigration laws they're going to bring in. UK, it's okay now, but we don't know again. Your Canada has already been kind of putting limit on international students, putting limitation on jobs. So you need to be very smart. If you pick Europe, language becomes a barrier, right? So that's why a lot of thinking needs to go. So that's why I feel that if you at least go with scholarship, you spend zero and you would actually got experience, exposure, and then it's up to you. You want to continue to stay there or somewhere else, right? So in a way, you're not wasting at least money. But imagine, like I see a lot of people who go from India, almost 15, 16 lakh, right? 95% of them take a loan anywhere between 60 lakh to 1 crore, right? What if you're not successful? What if your life, I know people have mortgaged their family, property, whatnot. And then what if you're not successful in that country? What if you're forced to come back? Ukraine, what happened? A lot of people from Ukraine suddenly came, right? So that's why I'm always for scholarship. I'm always for paying zero money from your pocket. So I'm a big believer of that. For me, that was the only way I could go. And I've seen thousands of people who do it. If not this year, it can be next year or next year. But if your passion is to have a successful career, you can make it happen, is what I say. Just giving excuses कि हाँ मेरा CGPA low है, मेरे पास ये project नहीं है, मेरे पास ये publication है, those are excuses. I believe strongly, because you can always catch up on all these things in 6 months. Absolutely. It's like I give excuse to go and go to gym every day. I used to be very regular, but now I don't. I just always give excuse. Oh, I have so much to do on my startup. I have so much to do on other things. So I give excuse. Just like young people give excuse, ki, haan, we'll do this CV tomorrow. What's big deal? Deadline is like in 10 days. Let's go have party. Let's have some biryani today. So it's then you lose out on life's long biryani, right? So think about it. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, sir, for this valuable insight. Sir, we have a certificate of appreciation for you, sir. Technical team.
I No problem. I think my appreciation would be like at least some of you telling me in 6 months' time that, hey, Pavan Bhaiya, I got scholarship. I think that would be something I'll be
Obviously.
very happy and proud about. Today, just one of my mentee tagged me on LinkedIn. She's gone to John Hopkins and she got into 5, 6 top admits. So I think that's what gives me the biggest joy than anything else. Yeah.
Sure, sure, sure. We will try our best, sir.
Yeah. Great.
So this is a certificate of appreciation, sir, for you,
Great.
presented by
Thank
Mechanical
you.
Engineering Societies.
I appreciate the HOD and the professors in charge.
Yes. Any more questions from anyone? Sir, uh, thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot. Sir,
Yeah, we stay in touch. I look forward for the questions from Hitesh and respond to it. And
obviously, sir.
if anybody wants to reach out, I'll send the details to Hitesh, and please feel free to. And I'll be super happy to help more mechanical guys, because I know that somehow the name is going bad and everybody wants to jump into IT. Trust me, I just briefly tried my hands in IT after doing mechanical. It's not fun unless you enjoy coding. You really belong there. I think it's important that you follow the studies you've done, and that can still lead to a wonderful career. So all the best to all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
viewers, stay tuned for such more webinars in Mech-E-Meet series, and we wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you once again, viewers. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you all. Yeah. Have a great evening. Bye for now.
Good evening.